So none of us know each other. Is this? Or do
I
you two know
Helen.
each other?
I mean, we've met.
We've met.
Okay.
We worked in the same office for a week. I
There
say
you go.
worked.
A whole week.
I was a work experience, and Helen had a real job. You know, I reached back into my past to grab someone who I thought would genuinely be entertaining and interesting on this show,
I'll hope so.
as
Pressure.
opposed to all our other guests. And what is this show, Nora?
This is When Rom Met Com, the podcast where we break down what makes a date movie a great movie. We're currently working our way through Vanity Fair's list of the 42 best romantic comedies of all time to see if they had us at hello or were a big mistake. Huge. I'm laughing. I never laugh at that. I just tickled myself.
You're like, oh, wait.
That's very
funny.
cute.
Oh,
it's
I'm so glad I
because
came up with that.
Helen looked mildly amused, and I was so pleased by that.
I liked it.
I'm so glad.
It's mildly amusing.
It is mildly amusing. I'm Nora, and I'm here with my co-host Jack, man's man, ladies man, man about town.
Oh, you did it!
I had to.
I
It
was
right
gonna
there.
do it.
I know. I figured you would.
No,
And
I wanted to do man's gal, gal's gal about town, Nora Perot.
Great, that's me. And we have a guest today.
We do.
It's me.
We are joined by the wonderful Helen O'Hara, film journalist and author and editor at large at. We've bleeped that out, but if you put the clues together throughout the episode, you'll figure out where it is.
Hello.
Before we say anything, I just want to say that you have the most rom-com movie star, classic movie star name ever.
Thanks. Although I think I should be called Darcy or something for a real rom-com feel. Do you know what I mean? Or I don't know. They tend Luna or something. Maybe this is because I've been watching a bunch of Netflix Christmas movies recently, and they're warping my sense of what a rom-com does to be something very, very stupid. But yeah.
But Helen O'Hara.
Helen, before we jump into things, tell us a little bit about your history with rom-coms outside of watching Christmas ones on Netflix.
Yes, well, because I also do a little Christmas movies podcast.
Of course you do.
Called Bah Humbug, so I watch a lot of those for that, you see. That's my excuse. Anyway, some might say the podcast followed the habit of watching them and just is used to justify them, but we won't do that today.
You don't need an excuse.
Livia West, have you watched 12 Dates Till Christmas? The Hallmark first ever Christmas TV series.
Oh, I don't think I have. I don't technically have access to Hallmark. I wait for
That's
stuff
true.
to come on Prime and Amazon like a fool.
Like a fool.
Like a fool. Why don't I have Hallmark?
As someone who has to watch a lot of Hallmark movies for work, I'd say it's one of the better ones.
Okay.
Well, it's a series, so it's not a movie. And it stars Mae Whitman, and we all love a bit of Mae Whitman.
Proper actors make such a difference to a rom-com. And this is something I bang on about with these Christmas movies. But, just genuinely, the difference between, an Alicia Silverstone and a person who played a mum in a sitcom 12 years ago and hasn't done anything since is huge. It's massive, And I just feel like more of them need to try and lure actual stars in. I feel like it would repay the money, it really would.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a question. My relationship with rom-coms is I like them. Controversial perhaps, but here we are. I think they're great. I actually, thinking about it, a lot of my favorite films of all time are some variety of rom-com. Not like the traditional one necessarily, although When Harry Met Sally is obviously up there very high, but His Girl Friday, dyed in the wool rom-com. It is. It just, is a bit fast talking and cool, so people don't consider it as such, but it is. And things like Cyrano de Bergerac is actually a rom-com. It has all the material there of a rom-com. It's just in French and olden days. That's one of my all-time favorite films. So I kind of love them. Right the way back to Much Ado About Nothing, which is a rom-com, the structure of that. It's just got a little bit more dueling and death. And
Tell that to Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney,
Right, exactly, right. Although what haunts me about that film is how ill-fitting the bra top of her bikini is, but that's a whole other... What was happening on set? I don't know if they're on a boat, right? And she's wearing a bra that just doesn't fit. And I realize that she is small boned but big boobed, and that must present some challenges to the costume designer, but you are a professional. Come on.
Yeah.
That's not where the band of the bra sits.
It's way up. It was
Way
so
up.
high. Yeah.
So high. Not correct.
I'm
Anyway,
learning so much.
I'm already
today.
ranting. It hasn't even been 5 minutes. This is
The
terrible.
band is actually what's doing the support on a bra,
Exactly.
contrary to popular belief. So that's important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Jack, you're learning here.
I'm noting all this down.
So what other rom-coms do you like?
I mean, lots of them. The one that has a confusing title, Animal Attraction, which is also called Someone Like You, I think.
The Hugh Jackman, Ashley Judd.
Hugh Jackman, Ashley Judd. That came at the height of my Wolverine obsession, and I really was obsessed with Wolverine.
We're going to get along.
But I think it's a genuinely good one as well. I think she should have done more rom-coms and not just all those thrillers where somebody was chasing her through a forest.
But it has also got perpetual other man, Greg Kinnear.
Yeah, God bless him. No one's ever been the other man more than Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear's always just I could go for the guy who I like, or I could go for Greg Kinnear.
Yeah.
You always got to settle for Greg Kinnear.
Wasn't he the actual guy in Baby Mama, though? So, he finally got the girl.
Yeah, no, because he is the other guy, because the real relationship in Baby Mama is Tina
between
and Amy.
her and Amy Poehler. You're right. I know. You're right. Damn it. Poor Greg. Poor guy. I mean, he's doing well. I'm sure he's doing very well for himself. He's been the lead in many films. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, rom-com, like the classics, the Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman and stuff. Even though Pretty Woman, the more you think about it, the worse it gets. Just don't think about it, is my advice. For a lot of these, actually, you have to just not think about things. I think you just have to suspend disbelief. I think when Gen Z talk about rom-coms being problematic, it's because they have failed to do the work, frankly, of suspending disbelief. Now, I have a lot of respect for their commitment to, important things like consent and talking about equality and talking about privilege. They're wonderful. They're better than our generation, my generation, everywhere. Fantastic. But they have to do the work of also pretending that things are other than they are for these films to work. And I think that they're trying to skip that step. And it's no, we have to understand that a level of consent to some mild stalking, some mild benign stalking is implied in all of these films, okay? So yes, it doesn't exist in the text of the film, but it exists in the context of the film, that we are choosing to accept that these two people want to be mildly stalking each other and that it's not going to cause anyone any problems or result in any bad outcomes. Just in the films,
Yes, I could talk about this for 100 years. Things like Twilight.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's so hip to be Edward is a textbook abusive boyfriend. And it's yes, that is true. But that's not the point.
No.
And that is not fun.
No.
So please allow me to have fun.
Exactly.
I would hate it if someone acted that way in real life. I absolutely love it in a book / movie.
And I think that's true of a lot of these. It's like the Love Actually discourse, right? So the Love Actually discourse comes up now every Christmas with people realizing that any woman who speaks out about anything in that film comes to a bad end, and that the women who just smile and say nothing are the only ones who end up with a man. Okay. And everyone's like, gosh, that's very troubling. And you're like, yes, that is true, except under the rules of the film, we're all going to pretend that it's fine and we're still going to watch it. So yes, your objections are 100% well-founded. They have been noted. And now we're going to watch Love Actually and have a nice time.
Yeah.
That's the only way to approach a lot of these.
I mean, we're going to talk about a film today that's going to have plenty of mistrust and consent issues, really.
Yes. Everyone's lying to everybody. All the time.
I also watched Pillow Talk for the first time to go with this.
And
there's some real consent issues in that one.
Gee willikers.
The whole ending is a consent issue.
I mean, again, but it's charming. And I mean, yes, again, we can nitpick these all day, and I'm sure we will. But I think that the fun of those films is just someone having to learn something about themselves, even if they learn it in perhaps not ideal ways. I actually find those films weirdly progressive in some ways. Doris Day always has a career that matters to her and that she's good at and that has made her money, and she is independent. She is living a cool life. And there's something quite heartening about that compared to the lives that a lot of women were allowed to lead at that time in history, in the sort of late 50s, early 60s. And I think that, playing with that in this film, obviously Down with Love, is one of the best decisions they could have made. If anything, I just would like them to push it further.
We've tiptoed around it, but yeah, we're talking about Down with Love today. Would we like some stats?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
So, Down with Love, directed by Peyton Reed, his second film, stars Renee Zellweger, Ewan McGregor, Sarah Paulson, David Hyde Pierce, Jerry Ryan, and Tony Randall. This was released in the UK on the 3rd of October 2003, though we will talk about the American release date on this pod. The budget was $35 million and came in at the US box office with a disappointing $20.3 million worldwide for a $39.4 million, and has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 60%.
People have no taste.
That's my feeling.
We live in an imperfect world, that's for sure.
I want to live in the world this movie represents, I tell you that much.
I also can't believe it was 35 million. I felt like it would have been more. Like all those
The
costumes were
alone.
hand-built for all those actors.
But if you think about it, there's not a lot of location work. There's not a lot of traveling around, outdoorsy stuff. It's so soundstagey. And I mean that as a compliment in this case.
But I mean, the sets are still quite, I don't know, they're quite full on.
Oh, yeah, they're big. Yeah, absolutely. But they're not, they're not Dune.
But you're talking to someone who used to host an Adam Sandler podcast where every film cost $80 million and it was just him sitting around with Kevin James.
Well, I think you can see there where the money went, can't you?
Yes.
Really comfortable sun loungers.
70 million to Adam, 10 to Kevin. IMDb describes this as, in 1962 New York City, love blossoms between a Playboy journalist and a feminist advice author.
That is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not untrue, and yet it feels untrue.
Yeah. It's the letter but not the spirit of the film.
Yeah.
It betrays the truth of the text.
So let's see what Vanity Fair said. Peyton Reed's sleeper classic, starring Renee Zellweger and Ewan McGregor, wasn't especially well received when it was released in 2003, which I have a theory about. The movie is an unabashed confection, candy-coated to the point of causing cavities, and excessively rich with wink-winking nods to the Doris Day movies that inspired it. Down with Love was definitely a tough sell in the midst of a brewing Iraq war. It couldn't have seemed more frivolous. But all that sugar was just a cover for what's really at stake here, which is a rewriting of movie romances and their ongoing battles of the sexes. The film, about a star writer's proto-feminist attempt to get women to live and fall in love on their own terms, and the magazine writer trying to bring her down, doesn't have an outwardly cynical bone in its body, but its characters do. These are people who know the strategic ins and outs of romance and spend an entire movie one-upping each other. It all builds toward one of the finest moments of Zellweger's acting career, which is saying a lot. A heart-stopping monologue about the things a woman might do just to get noticed by the man she loves. At the center of all this silliness is a character who truly deserves a happy ending, but not at the expense of the newfound freedom she inspired in everyone else. And that was written by K. Austin Collins.
I think I mostly agree with that. I mean, she is a nutcase. And I don't think we should entirely lose sight of that as we talk about our love of this film, certainly my love of this film. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Her plan... So we're talking spoilers, okay? We're getting into this nitty-gritty. Okay, everybody's seen it. We know what we're talking about.
Actually, we should warn, because all of our episodes are spoilery, but if you have not watched this movie, stop right now, because this has a huge twist ending that you do not want to have spoiled. So stop now, watch it, come back.
It is an insane twist ending.
It's an insane twist.
It's a Fight Club.
Oh my God. That's a really good point. It's Fight Club. It's her going, okay, I'm actually a former secretary of yours who fell in love with you and didn't go out with you because you'd only use and discard me like you do everyone else. And I went away and I spent a year in a cabin. In my head, it's a cabin in Maine. It doesn't have to be, but it is. I spent a year in a cabin crafting revenge is not it's the wrong word, but it's not spiritually wrong. But she spent a year crafting this insane scheme to become a person who he would fall in love with. And I will say, if the sexes were reversed, I think we might see this as a slasher movie, or at least a really troubling movie. And again, we're just not going to make that thought. We're just going to gloss over that, in order to enjoy it while we're watching it. But it's demented, fully demented.
So I saw this in cinemas as a 13-year-old boy. I remember this twist happening. My mind was blown because it was so silly, and the way it's delivered to us is so ridiculously silly because there is no way to predict this twist. You can't, there is no like signposting to there is a twist coming, but there's no like pictures of Nancy Brown in the background.
I was watching today with this in mind. I was thinking like, we're going to be talking about this film tonight, so let me just rewatch this. And I was like, does she ever wink? Does the camera ever linger on her face just a moment too long? You know, in the way that you know, oh, something's up here. Oh. There isn't a twitch of reaction from her the first time she meets him in person. There's nothing to let you know.
No.
It's because she's planned this for so long.
But you can tell that Renee Zellweger is playing it.
Oh.
She's playing every layer. Yeah. It's just, but not in a way that you can see it unless you know, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's masterfully done. I remember the whole audience really roaring at it. Not that it was a packed house, but like it's one of these things that I feel like somebody today will watch it and be like, well, that's just stupid.
I mean, yes, but also no.
But yeah, that's the thing. It is stupid, but like brilliantly so. And actually, when you look at it, you're like, okay, actually, this kind of does track for this character. And then leads to another absolutely insane ending.
So, Jack, you saw this in the theaters when it came out. Helen, did you?
Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, I was part of that very small audience. I hadn't quite started working as a film journalist at that point, so I definitely paid real money, or at least had a Cineworld card or something. Other cards are available. And yeah, I loved it but then I kind of knew a little. I've obviously been educating myself on films. I had a little bit of knowledge about the Doris Day-ness of it all in the films it was kind of lampooning, which I think helps. I think that may have been part of the reason for its underperformance is that people don't necessarily grow up watching Doris Day movies anymore, and I think there was a generation that were like, the what now? Who? Where? Why?
I must say, I didn't grow up watching Doris Day movies. But I remember like this just immediately struck a chord with me. I think just because I loved its pacing and its style, and it was really silly.
I mean, it is, yeah. It's really fun.
Which the Doris Day movies are as well. I remember I wanted to go see this because it starred, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Roxy Hart. And like the two biggest things for me as like a 12, 13-year-old boy was being obsessed with Chicago and obsessed with Star Wars. The two things that every 12-year-old boy is obsessed with. And I remember going and I ran into a friend at the cinema who was also seeing it, but he was there with like his parents and he didn't know what he was seeing. He's like, what are we seeing again? But me, I was like full on like, oh yeah, it's Down with Love time. Gotta get this.
I wish I'd known you when you were a teenager.
Just be happy you didn't. But I do want to talk a bit about the insane decision that 20th Century Fox had to release this in the US on the same day as The Matrix Reloaded.
Well, but that's classic counter-programming.
It's counter-programming, but honestly, you were going up against like what was going to be one of the biggest films of the year. That was a film that everybody wanted to see. Like, The Matrix was such a cultural phenomenon at the time.
Didn't the director of Down with Love say that he went to see Matrix Reloaded?
Almost certainly. I mean, well, he'd already seen Down with Love.
That's true. He'd probably seen it plenty of times.
But like, I'm looking at the opening weekend box office for its wide release, and you've got number 1 is The Matrix Reloaded, number 2 is Daddy Daycare in its second week, number 3 is X-Men 2 in its third week, and then number 4 is Down with Love, just above the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Okay. If those are the options, then it was the wrong release date. And it's not because it's competing with The Matrix, it's because it's competing with Daddy Daycare.
Yeah.
And Lizzie McGuire, actually. Because then you're losing the adult comedy fans and you're losing the teenage comedy fans. That's the bit that doesn't make any sense.
I also think you're losing the guys who, technically, if we're looking at this from like box office terms, you're losing the guys who girls would drag to see it.
Yeah, this is a debate, though, in, box office terms, like who kind of makes the decision typically in couples about what to see. And the accepted wisdom is that guys are more likely to take girls with them, and girls don't always succeed in dragging the guys to the chick flicks. This has been the reason Hollywood certainly believes is why films made for or by or about women get, lower box office results, even though they actually don't if you control for advertising spend and the number of screens that you're releasing them in. Anyway, we're not going to get into that.
These are my favorite conversations, so please don't worry.
That's a spicy stat.
Yeah, if you actually control, like if you look at like female directors versus male directors, for example, and you actually control for number of screens that the films were released on and marketing, then the female directors slightly outperform the male directors, but they don't get that marketing and they don't get those screens. So they don't get that box office.
God, that feels so good. My confirmation bias is just like, more, please.
I'll tell you another infuriating thing. When a woman makes a hit at the box office, like a female director, she usually loses the sequel to a male director.
50 Shades of Grey?
50 Shades of Grey, Twilight,
Mamma Mia,
Wayne's World, over and over again.
Ugh.
You'll notice it took like 6 months or something for Patty Jenkins to sign up to do Wonder Woman 2 after the success of Wonder Woman. And that was because they didn't automatically offer her the kind of uplift on her salary, as I understand it, that they would for a man. So...
And now we slowly wait to see who will direct the Wonder Woman reboot.
Well, this is it. And look, hey, I'm not saying Wonder Woman 84 turned out as well as everybody hoped, certainly me, but that's not the point. It would have been automatic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, I'm getting off my hobby horse.
People should read Women versus Hollywood. You know?
Yeah, I hear it has all these stats in it. That's what I hear.
Adding that to my list the second that we log off.
Another thing is, it's silly to release this movie in summer. I think it's more like your Valentine's Day or your winter romance movie. Valentine's Day, you had How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which we have.
That was a juggernaut. That was a juggernaut, yeah.
And then later on in the year, you have Something's Gotta Give, which we've also covered on this show. It's a big year for rom-coms.
And then towards the end of the year, don't you actually have Love Actually at the end of the year?
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, look, but then it was a different time and there was more room for rom-coms at the cinema in those days than there is now. Look, I do get the kind of programming argument. Like if you look at, well, recently I had a cause to look at Chris Nolan films, and Christopher Nolan films have almost always been released opposite a big rom-com or equivalent, right?
Mamma Mia versus The Dark Knight.
Yeah, not just Barbenheimer, but yeah, Mamma Mia versus The Dark Knight. And I can't remember which one came out against Eat, Pray, Love. Might have been Dark Knight Rises.
That's got to be Inception.
Inception. Okay, there you go. Like, it's classic. Barbenheimer was just the latest example of it,
The smart move is the Notting Hill move, which opens 1 week after episode 1.
Yeah, that's maybe less risky.
And then opens to like 20 million, which is pretty great.
So you at least get the guys who dragged their girlfriends out in the first week, and now she's like, you owe me. I sat through that piece of shit. Don't know if I can swear, but I did.
You can.
And
please,
and
it's
now
encouraged.
we're going to go and see Notting Hill. So look, but the box office on this was disappointing and was not what it deserved. And I think it should have done better by all rights. And I just don't know why it did. And it's heartening to see it still being talked about 22 years on. It's still on the rotation. It still comes up on, Disney Plus or whatever it's on now. And it's still talked about and liked and used as an example of a cool way of kind of revisiting an old genre. So these are all good things, but it did deserve better on release, no question.
I dragged us into the box office discussion just because it drives me nuts. But we should talk about just the movie in general as well. Crazy as it is.
Yeah, I love it. I love how sharp the script is. The transitions from one scene to the next, which are almost always linked by a piece of dialogue, super fun writing. It's very deliberately camp and knowing and punny and silly. And it is a kind of writing that we don't do very much anymore, that isn't kind of in fashion. But when they do something like this, or like my beloved Hail Caesar, which is honestly one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies, when they really like lean into the chewiness of like mid-century dialogue, it's such a pleasure. I love it.
There is something about this movie that just, I don't think, many others can really capture this. It is this heightened sense that every actor seems to be on board with as well, which I think is a really great part of it. Everyone is on the same page. Everyone is as zany as everyone else. And everyone just seems to be having fun.
Oh, a blast.
Everyone knew what movie they were making, like they all understood the assignment.
Yeah, 100%.
Which isn't always true.
Like my beloved Fast and Furious sequels, right? One of the genuinely fun things from about Fast and Furious 4 onwards is identifying which cast members take it seriously, Vin Diesel, and which absolutely do not, The Rock. Tyrese. And it is so fun watching these two groups collide. And I enjoy that. But that doesn't work for every franchise. That doesn't work for every movie. And seeing something like this where everybody buys into a shared vision and just has the glibness and the flow of the language. I mean, David Hyde Pierce, like, he's a magnificent actor. Like, his work in Frasier is off the charts, brilliant, right? But he may even be better here. I don't know, but it's at least on a par. He is so freaking good in this. I mean, there is the kind of meta thing that all the best friends in those movies seemed like they might be gay. And here we have the best friends who are both played by actors who are now thoroughly out. That's delightful. They weren't out at the time, so I don't know how intentional that was, but it's delightful anyway. I love that you have David Hyde Pierce essentially doing Tony Randall, with Tony Randall also in the film, kind of giving it his imprimatur, like, amazing. Some of his lines are so good. I don't think I've ever used the word spinster, except once when my mother accused me of being one. I mean, it just, so good.
He says, when I told my mother that it was technically inaccurate for her to refer to me as a spinster.
That's it, yes.
This is David Hyde Pierce's movie. That was my biggest note on this. Yeah. This is his movie. I walked out of this so in love with him. Mm-hmm. Like, I have the biggest crush on him now. I have really bad news
for you, Nora. I'm so sorry.
I know. I mean, let's be real. I wouldn't have a chance if he was straight either.
I mean, yeah, there is that. Yeah, but still, you know.
Are you a Frasier fan, Nora? I don't know.
Actually, no. I have never really seen Frasier.
It's
worth watching.
I do love a sitcom.
Well, it's one of the reasons I think you cast David Hyde Pierce is because Frasier dealt so well with farce, and this film is so farcical and so wonderful in the way that it works that David Hyde Pierce is almost like the level everyone's trying to get to. But yeah, I agree with you, Nora. This is his movie. Like, just his delivery on just stuff, just saying, wow, and just any word that ends in "al" is really good. Wow, how, now.
He had the best joke in the whole thing, which was, I did switch keys with the lead. That was my favorite joke. I also really loved when Catcher is doing the whole, like, he's doing this string of sort of Native American metaphors, like, it won't be hard to slide into her teepee and get, like, wampum, and he goes, stop with the football talk. It's such a good joke.
So good. So good.
The commitment to silliness is something I've been waiting for a bit on the movies we've been covering for a while now. Like, I know we just did the 40-Year-Old Virgin recently, but there is something about this where it is just, it's a level that we've talked about already, but yeah, just so many films don't really get into or try, and possibly because when they do try, they end up like Down with Love and nobody goes to see it. It was a joy watching this. I'd love to live in the alternate reality where there was a hit and we got like 50 more movies like this.
Yeah.
Helen, you mentioned Barbie earlier, and I was thinking of Barbie when I was watching this. It's all the pink.
Wise.
Yeah, it's the aesthetic. And there's like a shot of Renee Zellweger like stepping into a shoe or something. And that was sort of
very like the Barbie trailer. Yes. I would be amazed if Greta Gerwig wasn't, at least partly sort of thinking of those kind of shots. I mean, she may have been referring back obviously to the 60s original, but yeah, it's very, very Barbie coded. And look, and again, that's going back to the Doris Day as well, right? Where you had these incredibly designed New York apartments. I mean, in Pillow Talk, she's literally an interior designer, of course. Yeah. But just even thinking of things like How to Marry a Millionaire, a little bit earlier, that's the Marilyn Monroe and Lauren Bacall and Betty Grable, I think. And they rent this unfurnished apartment, and it basically looks like the one in this. Like, it's all white, beautiful, clean lines, balcony, overlooking New York, incredible. And I feel like that's the kind of thing you see in movies and never in real life. Well, obviously not nowadays in Manhattan real estate. That'd be like $50,000 a month or something. But like, it just, it's so like, we don't care about realism. That has no sway here. We're not doing realism. Realism can, naff off and go work with Mike Lee. We are doing fantasy. And so we're going to have feathers. We're going to have sequins. We're going to have two women wearing coats which complement one another's dresses. And they're going to strike a pose on the way into the restaurant. And it's going to be awesome.
I mean, my biggest contention is that this should have got the Oscar nomination for costume.
It should. I would agree.
100%.
Maybe a best supporting for David Hyde Pierce, but
Yeah.
the costumes in this are incredible. Like, everybody looks fantastic. But back again to my 12-year-old self, I had such a crush on Renée Zellweger. And my, like, art book, I had, like, drawn, like, her in different costumes from this movie on the front.
So cute.
That's amazing.
Because it was, like, so visually striking. Yeah, it speaks to it. And it just, once again, shows how important that kind of stuff is within these movies.
Absolutely. And Ewan McGregor wearing slutty little glasses 2 decades before Jonathan Bailey. He walked so Jonathan Bailey could run.
Damn.
I do think Ewan McGregor is, like, at peak hotness in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moulin
I
Rouge?
don't know. I mean, Trainspotting? Is it wrong to say Trainspotting? Maybe. Probably.
Hear me out.
It's that heroin chic.
Well, I mean, I was going off to college when Trainspotting came out. Everybody had him on their wall. Every single person had him on their wall. Now, was I more of a Johnny Lee Miller in Trainspotting girl? Yes. But Renton was hot. Was undeniably hot.
I think he's hotter in Moulin Rouge, but he is definitely hot in this.
That's fair. That's fair.
I always think the hair in Moulin Rouge doesn't do it for me.
The hair did look in need of a wash in Moulin Rouge.
Oh, good point. Well, maybe that's my type. Because I read an analysis the other day of like what makes men attractive to women, and they were like, it is not about the looks, it is about the yearning. And they were pulling up pictures of like men who did not look particularly good in movies, who just like looked at a woman like she was the only woman in the world. And like, yes, that is hot. And there's significantly more yearning in Moulin Rouge than there is in Down with Love, therefore hotter.
I was thinking about this the other day because the difference between women hotness and men hotness, as in attractiveness to women, attractiveness to men. Obviously, you know, all different genders nowadays, there might be very different rules, but I don't think most straight men have a concept of like unattractive yet hot. And I feel like that is something that a lot more women understand than men. Yep. So like, is he handsome? No. Is he hot? 100%. Like, you could call it the Willem Dafoe rule, right? For example. Like, is he handsome? Maybe for like a couple of years in his mid-20s. But generally speaking, in most of the career that we know Willem Dafoe, has he been handsome? Traditionally, classically handsome? No. Is he hot? 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't think that most straight men have an equivalent of that. Because when you try and explain this to men, they will come back with an answer that is objectively hot. They'll literally be like, yeah, but Catherine Zeta-Jones, for example, and you're like, wow.
What are you talking about?
That is incorrect. Anyway, but I just think it's interesting. And I think you're right. I think a lot of it comes from yearning. A lot of it comes from eye contact. I think there's a certain kind of handsome man who should not be allowed to make eye contact without first handing you a small piece of paper saying, please understand that I am happily married to someone else. But you may be confused once I've made eye contact, but that isn't sadly the case. That would honestly be helpful. I have done interviews with people who made eye contact who should not be allowed to make eye contact with human beings. It's not fair.
I once made eye contact with Penelope Cruz.
Oh my God.
I've still not recovered.
Exactly. Like, that's not fair. Javier Bardem is right there. She should not be allowed to make eye contact with other people because, like, we know she's not looking. So
I genuinely forgot what I was doing when that happened, and I was in the middle of work. So
who would you say are those men, Helen?
Well, I'll give you an example. Okay, so I was. This is perhaps a little bit obscure, but if I'm introducing someone to a new hot person, you're welcome. Daniel Henney, who plays Lan in Wheel of Time. I was hosting the blue carpet for the season 1 premiere of Wheel of Time, and he is a very tall, very handsome man who makes like unabashed eye contact with you when he is talking to you. And I was in a professional setting. I was having to think on my feet and ask questions in English. How am I supposed to do that with this happening in front of me? It's not reasonable.
I just looked up Daniel Henney And yeah.
Yeah, you're shook. I can tell you're shook from here.
Also, I'm looking at what he's in. I've not seen a lot of it, but he is the voice of Tadashi in Big Hero 6.
Oh yeah, he
and I would
also
do
has a
for
hot
that
voice. Yeah, he also has a hot voice. It's not reasonable. Or, I mean, another example that we've talked about quite a lot on the Empire podcast is Timothy Olyphant. Now, Chris, a straight man, went to interview Timothy Olyphant and came back going, damn, he's really handsome. And I was like, try being a straight woman and interviewing him. Jesus, not reasonable.
I feel like Alexander Skarsgård would be one of those. I feel like any Skarsgård would be one of those. I live in fear of accidentally making eye contact with one of them. I don't know when it would happen. So I live in London. So sometimes I walk past celebrities on the street and I live in constant fear of accidentally acknowledging one of them.
Yes, I've been there. You think you know them.
Right? Yes. Or like what's going to happen is they're walking a dog. I go to say hello to the dog. I look up. I see it's a celebrity. I would bolt because I have a hard rule that I do not acknowledge famous people when I see them because they deserve anonymity and I can give them that in that moment.
I once was in the toilet at the same time as Colin Farrell. And we both we just crossed paths and we just gave each other a cursory nod,
nice.
which I've always wanted.
Solid.
We just
Solid.
sort of just man in the loo, like, all right.
I don't know why his name would come up in a discussion of attractive men. So confusing. Gosh.
Or toilets.
What were we talking about? We were talking about Ewan McGregor.
I've forgotten. We were talking about Ewan McGregor. When was his peak hotness? Okay, yes.
It's funny, actually, thinking back that he was doing this 2 years removed from Moulin Rouge and Renée Zellweger doing this a year removed from Chicago. I think people in musicals are more attuned to doing this type of work. It feels like a musical.
Yeah,
it does.
It's got that rhythm, hasn't it?
I've long been tweeting at Mark Shaman for a while, being like, down with Love musical when?
Oh my God, that would do well, I think, actually.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
You sent me an article, Jack, earlier today from Letterboxd, and they described Ewan McGregor in this very particular way. I'm like scrolling in a panic trying to find it. It was his melodic physicality. That's what they described, his melodic physicality.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, yeah, that is such a beautiful turn of phrase, and that's exactly what he is.
I'm just thinking of the time where he describes what the triplets do, and he's like, Coco shakes her maracas.
That to me felt like Jack Lemmon in Some Like It Hot with the maracas.
That's right.
But like, yeah, I feel maybe that was a little nod, maybe it wasn't, but Jack Lemmon is, again, not objectively super handsome. You know, he's not like 6'4" and built like a Skarsgård, but super hot because he was just the funniest guy. If you see Jack Lemmon making pasta with a tennis racket in the apartment and don't instantly fall in love, I don't know what to tell you. Like that's you may not like it, but that is peak male performance right there. You know, it's astonishing. Anyway, so if he is indeed, as I suspect, making a nod to Jack Lemmon, then 10 out of 10, no notes. I approve utterly.
You mentioned a Wolverine obsession earlier, and something in this article said, the public knew him as the sage and solemn Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, but like Hugh Jackman, McGregor's true calling seems to be musical theater rather than macho blockbusters. And like, if that's not my type...
Get you a man who can do both.
Hugh Jackman was my biggest crush growing up. I was so obsessed with Hugh Jackman, and it's the same kind of appeal. James Marsden, also similar. I feel like James Marsden could have also played this role.
Oh, 100%. This is like, think of him as Corny Collins in Hairspray. Like he's basically channeling the same energy as this movie. Yeah, he'd be very good. Would Hugh Jackman have worked in this role?
I don't think at this time. I think it would be better to do it now.
Yeah. I think, at the time, I mean, he did Animal Attraction probably around the same time, right? That's not a million miles off.
But it's still kind of like he's playing that gruff persona in Animal Attraction.
Yeah, I know.
He's the guy, like this, while Catch a Block is the man's man, ladies man about town, he is still like...
He's kind of goofy. He is goofy as well. He's straddling that line between really cool and really goofy.
Exactly. So 100% Hugh Jackman can do a Rock Hudson type.
Yes.
Like, easily. I saw him in The Music Man. He'd be fine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up on Hugh Jackman's Oklahoma, the like filmed version of the National Theatre production. And like Curly is not that far off from this guy.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think Curly's even a little gruffer than Catcher Block.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
a cowboy.
Catcher Block couldn't live in Oklahoma.
He would make it 10 minutes on a ranch.
He'd definitely get shot by someone's husband in short order.
Like in the way in Pillow Talk that Rock Hudson pretends to be Texan, it makes more sense that Catcher Block pretends to be a nerdy scientist astronaut. They're trying to pretend to be Texan just wouldn't work in any way, shape, or form.
Ewan McGregor is not Rex Stetson. That would just never. He is Zip Martin.
No, that wouldn't work. Yeah, he's Zip Martin. He can do. Rex Stetson. He could not. You're right. And actually, I will say Hugh Jackman could have done Rex Stetson.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
But he couldn't do Zip Martin, I don't think. So there's your difference.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
You know who could do both? James Marsden.
He could!
And it all comes back to him. Do you know what? I was weirdly just thinking about 30 Rock, because there's that point early on in this series where Liz pretends she has a boyfriend and he's astronaut Mike Dexter. And I feel like astronaut Zip Martin probably lives, in the same like zip code. And then she ends up with James Marsden. So it's all coming full circle in my head.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if once again Tina Fey, big Down with Love fan.
I would practically bet on it. They're just, again, the speed and the sharpness of the dialogue, that's absolutely her jam, I think.
The dialogue is incredible. And you talked about those scene transitions linked by dialogue. My favorite one is Catcher going, "What is it about the workplace that women can't seem to handle?" Cuts to men, which yeah.
So good.
Because women are ruining the workplace, I'm told.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, New York Times. Yeah. Absolutely getting the C with that one.
I love the publisher guy talking about the men of New York City and not the men of Maine. Once coming from you from the front, they'll attack the rear. When you're protecting your rear, they'll drop out of the sky and then cut to Catcher Block coming out
Dropping
of a
out of the
helicopter.
sky, yeah. That was beautiful.
It's so good.
The one that I was trying to get my head around today and totally failed, let's be honest, is the sort of exchange at the end when she's interviewing him for the assistant's job, and they're talking about what they know now and what they know at No magazine. So there's No magazine and Now magazine, and what they know now that they didn't know then at Now, but now know at No.
I know that things now are like they were at No.
It's so stupid. It's so silly. It's barely followable, but it's just very funny.
We got to give some credit to Eve Alert and Dennis Drake, who wrote this movie, and essentially haven't written anything since outside of the oft-referenced on this podcast, Legally Blonde 2, Red, White and Blonde.
Two masterpieces.
But yeah, it is a shame, because this film is impeccably written.
Mm-hmm.
True genius is never appreciated in its time,
It's so true. So true.
That's how I feel every day.
I think that about you too. You could read this screenplay and laugh.
Yes.
The jokes are funny even without the performers making them funny. And that's such an accomplishment.
Yes. I wonder sometimes if studios are suspicious of that. Like, why don't they do that more?
Why don't they write better scripts?
Wouldn't that be good? But I feel like the writers are there. This is my big thing with Hollywood at the moment. I feel like the talent is there. I genuinely don't think there's ever been a better crop of directors than we have right now in Hollywood. I really don't. And yet I think we have the worst generation of executives that have ever existed in the history of the world, really, not just Hollywood. And it's killing the industry, and it's killing cinema specifically, and it's bad. There you go, I said it. And I'm just slightly frustrated about that. But with the writing especially, we see this over and over again. We see films that have a release date locked in a year in advance, and the script is still being written on the fly. And sometimes they pull miracles out of that. It can work, but more often it's a freaking disaster. And maybe if they had spent the extra, $10,000 on the script to begin with, they could have saved themselves, $50 million down the line. Now, of course, this particular film is a very bad counterexample to that, because here we have a great script that didn't make a lot of money. But as a general rule, I do think there's something there that's worth trying. Anyway.
Sorry, is cinema in trouble? I haven't noticed.
I can't even.
Good vibes only.
Good vibes only.
Speaking of good vibes only, Oscar for the line reading of titular senior editor. Did anyone notice that? Sarah Paulson's titular senior editor. I've been saying that all day since I watched the movie again this morning. Titular. She's going to save cinema. Oh, she's so good in this.
She's so good.
Yeah, she's wonderful in this.
She's so well cast. This whole thing is so well cast.
So well cast. Down to like even the smaller roles as well, like having like Jerry Ryan, for example, as the stewardess girlfriend. Have you heard that story that she is responsible for Obama becoming president?
Tell me more.
What?
Yeah. So Jerry Ryan was married around this time to a guy called Jack Ryan, who was a politician, no relation to the Tom Clancy character, I assume. And apparently they had a very messy divorce because she got cast as Seven of Nine, of course, on Star Trek Voyager. And he didn't want to move to Hollywood with her. And I think one thing led to another, and it turned into a very contentious divorce. And a lot of dirt was spilled about things that he had asked her to do in their marriage, which led to him being kind of dropped out of the race for US Senate that he was in, which led to the challenger, Barack Obama, taking that Senate seat in 2004 and being set up for a presidential run 4 years later.
That's a movie.
Wow.
Make that movie.
That'll save cinema.
Get the writers of Down with Love.
So the story goes anyway, yeah, that Seven of Nine led to the Obama presidency.
I love that. I love Jerry Ryan in this movie.
A little speech at the end.
Or her scene with the other stewardess where they're talking about their night with catch and block to each other is so funny. And then I wonder what's keeping Elkie. And then the phone coming into the frame. Oh, masterpiece filmmaking right there. And the score swells. Oh my God, it's so funny.
It's so good. So few restaurants in New York, apparently. So should they have just gone the full way and made this a musical?
It's so close.
It's so close. You wouldn't have to change very much.
And then, of course, we do have the musical number in the credits, which is, I think, a hell of a lot of fun.
Yes,
It is. And apparently it was Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger were like, well, you gotta. Like, you have to do a musical
number.
number.
Look at us. Like, we're here, so...
Which is just iconic of them.
Can we talk about the split screen scene?
Oh my God.
We have to.
I love it so much. It's so stupid. It's so cool because like they played around with that obviously before, but they hadn't been nearly so naughty because it was the 60s. So it's quite naughty, really. And I love that for it.
I mean, it's more than quite naughty.
Okay,
it's really naughty.
Ooh.
Again, like I remember watching this and I was like, oh wow, they're going for it. It's probably like the most full-on sex scene I'd seen at that age. Like even the grabbing for cigarettes at the end.
Yeah.
So funny.
With a really nice CGI smoke transition.
What a good button for the scene. Yeah. It is really funny.
I feel like it must have taken ages to choreograph.
And again, all of the double entendres in the dialogue adding to the split screen itself.
So you say like, would you like to come? And she goes, yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Which I only noticed on this watch. I also like talking double entendres. Not that there really are double entendres. All of Catch and Block's excuses for why he can't make it to dinner being about the Swedish lapdogs.
What an asshole. He is so unlikable in that sequence. I'm like, fuck off.
What's so weird is that he feels like he can lie about every single thing except the nationality of the girl he's boning.
Well, it's the only thing he can come up with quickly.
But like, why add the nationality? Like, it doesn't need to be there. It's so strange. I quite enjoyed the fact that, obviously he takes Jerry Ryan's stewardess to see Camelot, isn't it? Because that was the hot ticket in the 60s. And then when he goes with Barbara, he goes, I can honestly say I've never watched it. Like, the things he chooses to be honest about are fascinating to me.
It's really, and the way he just leans in. Yeah. Like, I'm going to watch it this time.
This time, I don't have anything more important to do, so I'm really going to lean in and watch it. Yeah.
He says the same thing when he's cooking in his friend's apartment, where he's like, I can honestly say I have never cooked for two here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like she should parse those a bit more. But then, of course, she knows what's going on, so she doesn't need to. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. And you forget that watching it, don't you? That she does know the whole time.
You forget it. Yeah.
Because honestly, who would put up with Zip Martin?
Oh my God, he's such a loser. Whereas in Pillow Talk, Rock Hudson's like Rex Stetson is a dreamboat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Zip Martin's a nerd.
Oh,
Thank God she knew.
I like Zip Martin. Okay, I mean, admittedly, I like nerds, but like, I like Zip Martin. He's adorable.
I like Zip Martin. It's just, but he is sort of like an insane character.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know enough about American accents to know exactly where he's meant to be from, but I suspect he doesn't either, so I feel like that's okay.
Generic South.
It's the same year he does his Big Fish performance, so it's just him doing it again.
It's such a good movie, though. It's a really good movie.
I honestly don't have anything negative to say on this. I think this is a real personal one for me. The same way, Nora, you found it hard to say anything negative on Never Been Kissed.
Oh, I'm with you on that. I love Never Been Kissed. Yes,
Not me.
Problematic up to the ears. I don't care.
This is like my level on Never Been Kissed. I can't criticize it at all. I think it's like, even though I only gave it 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, it's like a 5 out of 5 in my heart. Like, the insanity of it all by the end doesn't quite like it does take a sort of like left turn that maybe doesn't gel with the rest of the movie. But like watching it, I don't care. When I think about it in like a critical sense, I get like why it's not perfect. But as like little baby Jack Gregson watching this movie being like, I want everyone to kiss, and I want people to walk in on each other, and I want phones to come into screen just at the opportune moment. I want people to be eaten by beds.
Not a phrase you usually can say. Look, I feel like it does struggle a little bit to land the plane. That's about as negative as I can be. I feel like as Barbara realizes she's kind of written herself into a corner, it's like, okay, yes, this has worked out well for me personally. I have the guy that I wanted to get, that I have rebuilt my entire life around getting, and we have to believe his love is now sincere, and that, yes, he will probably still have a roving eye, but will probably sensibly be too terrified of his clearly psychotic wife to do anything about it. So we have to hope these two live happily ever after in their own slightly demented, possibly Phantom Thread-esque kind of a way. But I think it does kind of struggle with the sexual politics, because it does does open this door of talking about relations between at least straight men and straight women, right? In a sort of traditional heteronormative monogamous setting. And it brings up a lot of things, and then it can't figure out a way to untie them at the end, which is obviously where Animal Attraction does this better. Weirdly, possibly.
Is this the most anyone has ever talked about?
It might be. I don't know why it keeps coming up. It's on. To be fair, it's on the shelf beside me as I'm talking. Anyway, my point is, and there was probably a point. I do think that the sexual politics, as with many of these films, and even given everything I've said about suspending disbelief and assuming consent and assuming a level of good behavior and sincerity on everybody's part, which one cannot necessarily do in real life, I think it does struggle with the fact that the men are still pretty awful, and the sexual revolution and equality has not yet happened at the end of this movie, and therefore I don't know how much we can assume a happy ending for everyone involved just because of that.
Yeah.
I do think that's where it holds me back a little bit.
There's one very interesting moment in the dry cleaners when we have the husband and wife who own the dry cleaner, and the wife says, oh, my husband's doing the ironing because we're equal now. And then at the end of that scene, she's like, I've got to go because he's burning the ironing. I was like, yes. That kind of weaponized incompetence is such an important thing. And they don't really unpack it, but just the reference in there. It's another thing that kind of reminded me of Barbie, is it really skewers men and gender roles in a very similar way to the way that Barbie does, and a way that really like personally resonates with me.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And it's nice to see that the dry cleaning lady has taken a role at the magazine. At Now magazine at the end, which is also, of course, the acronym of the National Organization for Women in the US, which is a big campaigning group for equal rights.
Love
Clever. That. So I appreciated that.
Can we talk a little bit as well on the sort of insane montage of Down with Love's popularity
A montage, I feel like, is an essential part of a rom-com, you know? That very stylized montage of them walking through New York, you know, scenery and going on dates, and they're just walking in front of spinning neon signs and all that kind of thing. It's very Broadway melody. And
they walk past the sign for Bye Bye Birdie, which got me really excited.
There you go.
Well, that montage is right out of Pillow Talk. They do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed is when they go to the comedy club, they see Lenny Bruce, Woody Allen, and Bill Cosby. And I was like, oh, that aged well.
Well, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Ooh, okay.
Oy.
They should have gone and seen, what do you call them? Mike Newell and Elaine May would have been around that time, right?
Oh,
Maybe they're a little later, though.
They should have gone seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
They should have. That would have solved everything.
The crossover that we need.
Honestly, Midge would fit right in.
Oh, 100%. They'd be swapping fashion tips before you could drop a hat, a really weirdly shaped hat.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Amy Sherman-Palladino has love for this movie.
Oh, I bet she does. The speed of the dialogue, apart from anything else, says that this would be in her wheelhouse, even more maybe than Tina Fey's. We're just assigning celebrity fans to this movie.
Because I think that's it. Because the thing is, though, this film has had a bit of a cultural resurgence. The fact that it's ended up on this Vanity Fair list, despite when it came out, it was very mixed response from critics, very muted response from the box office. But over the years, people have come out and said, like, oh, I love Downward Love. Like my beloved Speed Racer. It's now been, like, reclaimed rightfully reclaimed by the critical and audiences.
I want to see Speed Racer again, because it's the one film where I came out and I'm like, it's somewhere between 1 and 5 stars, and I genuinely don't know where.
And genuinely not a 3.
It's definitely not a 3.
Helen, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's a 5.
I mean, I it's not that I don't believe you, but I need to see it again with my own eyes, I think.
It's a full-on 5.
But this movie is number 18 on the Vanity Fair list. It beats The Apartment by several spaces.
Oh, that is... No, I'm sorry. No.
It's an insane list.
It is an insane list.
If The Apartment is not number 1 or maybe number 2, no. Absolutely get out of town. That is outrageous. Outrageous.
I mean, a lot of odd things beat The Apartment. I think The Apartment is 1 space below How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, get out of here. I'm sorry. No. Absolutely not. I refuse. I like Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey as much as the next person, but that is banana crackers.
It is banana crackers. You're right.
It's just, no. You've really upset me now. I don't know what to do. That's
we didn't upset
crazy.
you. Vanity Fair upset
Well, I'm cancelling my subscription forthwith.
Did this movie invent the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge?
Oh my God.
The way he walks in that scene is really something, right? Yeah.
That is weirdly his sexiest moment.
One of my favorite moments.
Yeah, the ice bucket moment is
restraint.
hot.
Also, it's not just yearning, it's restraint. Yeah.
Also, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love to watch a man suffer.
And that's why we're friends. I think the only other things I have to say on this is, like, I think the score is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really fun, like, both romantic and jaunty.
I knew you were going to say jaunty.
It is jaunty.
Yeah, should we talk best song?
Let's talk best song. I'm going to be boring and say Here's to Love.
I mean, it's a good call. I was going to say Down with Love, because you can't really argue with Judy Garland.
We can have Down with and Here's to.
But
the Judy Garland version as opposed to the duet opening credits version.
Yeah, probably, just because Judy Garland. But I actually like the opening credits version as well, and I think it works perfectly for setting up the tone and setting up the energy of the whole thing.
I like the excessive use of Michael Bublé in this movie.
Yes, so much.
Yeah.
I don't think it's excessive, because I think this is his milieu, right? Is doing pastiches of the 60s. So that's 100% correct for him. Good
agreed.
use.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good excessive use of Michael Bublé. It's just because there's, like, he pops up multiple times on the soundtrack, which is not entirely normal for a film of this time period.
I really love the scene where they're getting ready for their big date. You know, tonight's the night. and they play the two different versions of Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I got to put both of them on the playlist.
I think you can't have one without the other.
That's a good call. Yeah.
It's such a lovely moment. And like, it's again, such a well choreographed movie in that like both those scenes go together so nicely. And the way the music has been like cut between the two, it's really clever. Like it's actually phenomenally done. And I can't think of like many other movies that have that sort of style.
Yeah.
Right. It's so smart.
It's Frank Sinatra and who's the other one?
Astrid Gilberto.
Her version is really nice.
It's lovely. Yeah.
It
really
is very nice.
Yeah. And the composer, we should say, is Mark Shaman, who went on to do Hairspray. So again, knows his era.
And did my favorite movie musical, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Was that him?
Yeah, him and Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
I also love that movie.
Mark Shaman, like, I have all the time in the world for. And then later on goes and does on Broadway the Some Like It Hot musical, which again feels very much in this wheelhouse.
Oh, see, everything comes back to Jack Lemmon. I'm telling you, man. Everything.
And why his next project isn't a Down With Love musical, we'll never know.
He's got to get on that. Come on, Mark.
So our collective would go see a Down With Love musical.
We would. Yes. Can we coordinate so we match our coats and the linings, and so we just stride in and then strike a pose?
I thought you'd never ask.
I genuinely think we should all be doing that all the time.
Yeah.
It's a great look.
Amazing. All right. It's a date. Shaman, we're just waiting for you. Come on.
Heard it here first. Should we would do, wouldn't do, have done?
Let's do it.
Okay. Jack, what would you do?
I would do this scheme. We've talked a lot about. I love a scheme. I love a plot. I love a con. I would do the Zip Martin scheme. I would that's a bit I would fully go in for. That I would pretend to be an astronaut. I once at a party pretended to be a pilot, and that lasted for quite a while. So it's close to my have done.
Just shy of a have done.
Son of a bitch, oh man.
Helen, what would you do?
I would write a bestseller to get a man. I think that's a great idea. Now, might I fall down at the first hurdle of writing a bestseller? Yes, very probably. But I think that sort of, 2-for-1 offer of riches and also love. I mean, if you can manage that, you're in clover. That's amazing.
That was really left up to chance in our plan.
Yeah, getting onto the Ed Sullivan show, not maybe quite as easy as they made it look in the movie, but certainly a masterstroke.
That's a real swing.
That's a swing.
Yeah, Vicky is very connected.
Yeah.
I want her doing PR for the podcast.
I mean, she says didn't the act get hit by a bus or something like that?
Yes, the singing nun fell off her bicycle, I think.
Yeah. I don't think she fell. Vicky pushed her.
Someone up there really likes me.
Yeah, Vicky 100% pushed her.
Yeah, Vicky believes you make your own luck.
That's it.
So my would do, the hairstyle that she has through the whole movie where it's straight and then the ends flip up? I would attempt that style. I spent all of middle school every morning with hot rollers in my hair every morning, and I'd take them out. It would look like that for 10 seconds. It would fall flat every day.
I don't know how people get hair to stay in a shape for longer than 10 minutes. It has never worked for me either.
Renee Zellweger is just something different.
I was having a lot of hair envy watching it again today.
Oh, my sympathies.
I mean, I've got hair envy of Ewan McGregor in this, just perfectly.
Oh yeah, it's very, it doesn't move.
No.
There's that bit where he's in the rain, and part of me was thinking, when she drives off and he's left standing in the rain, and part of me was thinking, oh gosh, I hope they didn't have to refilm that, reshoot that too many times, because there would have been a lot of resetting. And then I looked at his hair as it was happening and went, yeah, no, that's just going to stick right in place. The water's just kind of being repelled by all the Brill cream or whatever. So,
Jack, what wouldn't you do?
I wouldn't wear that turban. I like it for the reveal. But,
I'm with you.
That's a look.
I think it's the black beehive hat that I find most upsetting. That's
the one when she's on TV.
No, but also yes. But I was thinking of specifically the one where they're in the restaurant and she and Vicky are both in the black hats. I didn't like that.
I love her look on TV.
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
The biggest
Insane.
sort of furry hat you've ever seen.
I wouldn't give up that apartment. I can tell you that when they at the end of the movie, I'd be like, no, you move in here. I'm not leaving this place. This place is incredible. I'd be in that apartment for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Her apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, not his like creepy bachelor pad.
No. I could have a discussion about David Hyde Pierce's apartment. We can talk about that. That was interesting. But no, her apartment is the one to go for.
Yeah, agreed. I wouldn't wear little high-heeled slippers around my house.
I mean, yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
It didn't look safe. You're right. It didn't look, especially because she comes up out of her bath and her bath has like a shelf around it, right? And she's putting on her shoes on this shelf and then walking down 2 stairs without a banister to the main floor. Presumably everything is slightly wet and slippy. It didn't look safe. You're very wise.
As I said before, Renée Zellweger is something else. She can just...
Normal rules do not apply.
We talked a little bit earlier about Helen having the most like wonderful movie star name. I gotta say, Renée Zellweger is such a great name. I don't think we give it enough like attention. Like, you never forget that name, Renée Zellweger. Oh,
it's true.
There's a reason I'm in love with her.
There should have been an RZ in that board meeting as well. RZ those are good initials as well.
JR and RJ is such a funny joke.
Oh, so good. And also, OK's Down with TB is super good.
Jack, what have you done?
I have, not to the same extent, but I've definitely like revealed like my entire feelings of a relationship in a monologue to a partner who is sort of looking at me quizzically.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
Helen, what have you done?
I have had the pleasure of publishing a book and seeing it in one copy on a very obscure shelf at the back of a bookstore.
Sorry for buying that copy.
But then there would be none.
Such a good line delivery.
Such a good line.
Just one. If someone was to buy one, then there would be none.
There would be none. You know, on one hand, you're like, I mean, my personal books are non-fiction books about film, okay? So they're not going to be stacked up 15 feet high at the front of the store like the latest, Jack Reacher. I understand that. That's fine. But equally, when you go in and there's none or there's one hidden in the genuinely most obscure corner of the store, it is a little bit demoralizing sometimes. So I really felt for her at those moments.
Well, and now you've talked about it on this podcast.
Exactly.
It's gonna be everywhere.
Ka-ching. No, I'm kidding.
In about 10 years, when this podcast really takes off, you'll see a little bump.
That's it. It's going to be
mega. Send us some flowers or something. So my have done is quite similar to yours, Jack, in that I have done that specific monologue from the end of this movie. So the way I discovered this movie was that when I was in acting school, we had to do a monologue from a film. And I was just Googling like film monologues and what's going to come up but this.
Amazing.
So I was like, that's amazing. So I never, ever saw this movie unspoiled.
Whoa. Oh.
So I read the monologue and performed the monologue before I ever saw the movie. Wow. And of course, I couldn't watch the movie until after that assignment was done because I couldn't copy her performance.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
But that monologue has a very special place in my heart for that reason.
I mean, it has a special place in my heart just because it's so mad and good.
Mm-hmm. I think they said she did 6 takes or something. And it's obviously, for a movie that moves, that has so much movement, it is a long static shot and it's about 3.5 minutes long from beginning to end. And it's one take, doesn't move at all. There's no like zooms, no cuts. It's so theatrical. And I really love that they allowed it to have that space.
Yeah, it's really
How did you do it? Not having seen the movie, not knowing the context. Did you go for kind of high drama or what did you do? Do you remember?
I think I went pretty matter of fact.
Okay.
But not quite as she's very still and very grounded and there's like a real tinge of sadness to the way she delivers that monologue. And I think mine was a little more like, gotcha, than it was sad.
My favorite part of that monologue is when she starts going, and we would go on lots and lots of dates, because she says it so warmly. And like, you can tell she's really happy that that's worked out, that she just got to spend all this time with this man she loved and sex wasn't a thing. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice.
Cute.
Should we rom-com braid out?
I think we should rom-com braid out. Helen, welcome to the rom-com braid out.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's the appropriate response.
The rom-com braid out is a scientifically accurate method of rating a rom-com. It is a 4-part series. Yeah, the first 3 parts are rating on a scale of 1 to 5 on lead/chemistry, supporting characters, and plot.
Okay.
And then finally, we have the rom-com scale, which is a 0 to 100 scale of, is the film more romantic at 0 or comedic at 100? 50 being the ultimate rom-com.
Sure. Okay. All right.
I like how seriously I can tell you are going to take this.
Yeah. Well, we don't mess around with this.
It's a scientifically accurate scale.
Sure. And in no way just vibes.
The 0 vibes.
There's nothing less scientific than vibes. So, lead/chemistry. Nora, how are you feeling?
I went 4.
I would go 4.
Why, Helen?
I feel like there are couples that burn up more, and not necessarily just in terms of sexy hot, but just in terms of just feeling made for each other. These two are so tricksy that I don't think you ever get that sense of, oh yeah, these two are going to work out, everything's going to be fine. But they have clearly similar and perhaps complementary views on tricksiness, so that could work out for them.
Yeah, they'll be psychotic together.
Yeah.
And I'm happy they get together. But I wasn't like burning for them to get together. And I think it's because he is not on board except for those few little moments until like the last couple minutes of the film. I needed more yearning from both of them because they're both playing a game for the whole movie. I don't really buy into the romance that much. I buy into the game.
Yeah.
I go 5. For me, dream relationship of just 2 people tricking each other the whole time. You got to be on your toes the whole time. What's going to happen next?
God, it sounds exhausting. Oh,
welcome to my life, Helen. The reason I love that is because I'm like, these two are made for each other. These two like clearly think the same way, will come up with the same ludicrous plots, and think that's normal. And like, even to the point when she's like, I put out that job application as like open like call, and I knew you'd be the first through the door, and he was
crazy. Like, how would that go in your day-to-day life? Like, I knew when I left the grocery list on the fridge that you would be the first one to see it. And like, what? Like, what would that be?
It would be a dream, Nora. It would be
a nightmare.
Maybe she'll do the exposés with him, and they'll work together that way, perhaps.
You guys just aren't schemers like me.
That's obviously the case.
I'm such a schemer. Supporting characters.
5. Just for David Hyde Pierce.
Yes.
But I mean, you've also got Sarah Paulson and all the rest, but like just David Hyde Pierce alone would get it 5.
So it's a 4 from me.
How dare you?
David Hyde Pierce and Sarah Paulson are a 5 for sure. But you also have people like Rachel Dratch, who I think is so funny and is sort of just relegated to sad lady, which I feel like you could get more from her. Jack Plotnick's relegated to one sort of like gay joke, very funny gay joke. And even getting Tony Randall, such a get. He turns up for like 2 scenes and like doesn't really, I feel like, give much other than just like stern boss. When you have Tony Randall, I kind of want him in a scene with David Hyde Pierce. Yeah,
they could have done more with him. But again, counterpoint, David Hyde Pierce.
Hyde Pierce. Like, fully, David Hyde Pierce is phenomenal in this movie. And like, weird to think he barely does any film after this. I was looking at like the most recent film he's done is The Exorcism with Russell Crowe.
Oh, that was fun though.
I haven't seen it. I saw The Pope's Exorcist.
Yes, it's less fun than that.
Okay, that film's insane.
Yeah.
In the same way that Down with Love's insane, actually.
Actually, pretty much, yeah, just in a different genre.
Yeah, with just as convincing accents. But yeah, maybe 4.5. It's close to a 5. I just want some more for everyone to do. I want the wealth to be shared.
Sure.
And plot.
I think it has to be a 5 on plot. Because there's so much of it.
It's so
and it's so non-tropey. It doesn't depend on all of this tired old stuff we've seen a million times. There are no stupid misunderstandings that could be cleared up in one conversation.
I think there are, but they're like
but they're deliberate.
They're on purpose.
Yeah, that's the point.
Which is a very different thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how much more you could advance it. Maybe you could go again 4.5 in terms of finding a way to keep the sexual politics alive through the ending a bit more. I think they do a good job, but not a great job of that.
I agree. I think it's a 5 from me as well.
I went 4.5 just because I wanted to be able to buy into the romance a little bit more than I actually did. In terms of the sexual politics of it, there is one bit of it that I do really like, which is the idea that you can be a strong, independent woman and still be in love with a man.
Yeah.
That's allowed. Those are not mutually exclusive states of being.
I do love, Ewan McGregor's line of, our love could end the battle of the sexes.
God bless him.
But in which he's pitching just like her ditching feminism and him sort of like suppressing her and being like, that'll end the battle of the sexes. Yeah, with the victory of the men, fuck off.
Yeah.
And where he lands is much better.
You know why he can deliver a line like that? Because he's learned how to deliver all that George Lucas dialogue. And it's very yeah, that's something Georgie Porgy would write, just...
Totally works.
So the rom-com scale.
I think this is like a 70.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
I went for 75.
Okay.
It's very funny. And still, after all these years, and I've seen it so many times, I still laugh out loud.
And there's still little lines that I maybe did pick up on before, but I was too busy laughing at the previous one. Then you notice a different line this time and you laugh at somewhere else.
Even the sock scene gets me.
Oh my God.
So funny.
It's so dumb, but it's great because it comes early on and it fully sets you up for the rest of the tone of the movie.
My boyfriend walked past me well after that scene and he hadn't seen that scene. It's just when they're getting dressed for their date. And Kieran goes, why were men's socks that long? And I was like, you need a yardstick to measure them.
Lol.
I believe after that wraps us up quite nicely.
Hurrah.
Here's to love, everybody.
Here's to love.
Here's to love.
Helen, thank you so much for taking time to come on the show.
It's been a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Really loved having you on. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Any sort of secret journals you write for?
Yeah, so I am on the Empire podcast every week and the Empire Spoiler podcasts in addition to those weekly ones. As I mentioned at the beginning, my Christmas movies podcast every December called Bah Humbug. But more to the point, I have some books. So I have one called Women versus Hollywood, The Fall and Rise of Women in Film, which is basically a kind of past, present and future of women in the film business. Where were they? Where did they all go during the studio era? There were some in the silent era. What were they doing? And what went wrong? And what's hopefully going to go right in future? I've also written a Quentin Tarantino dictionary. Yes, F is for feet. And some other things as well. And the book that I was complaining that not every bookshop in London has stocked, if you can believe it, is a handy little sort of starter guide to film overall. So it's 50 film ideas you really need to know. So it's, mise en scène. What the hell is that and why do people talk about it? But also things like German expressionism and then rom-coms is a category as well.
Oh, amazing.
Philosophies of film and genres and practical stuff as well, like what is frame rate.
Does it tell you what a key grip is?
I didn't go through all of the jobs, no. So that was an oversight on my part.
Book two. Yeah. Sequel, baby. Revenge of the Key Grip.
I'm sure that would also sell a copy. So, yeah. But no, look, it's just meant as a sort of starter guide, basically, to film.
I
sort
love
of an
that.
introduction to a lot of these big concepts, really, of film.
That's the type of book that 13-year-old Jack would have come out of watching Down with Love and headed into the Waterstones next door and picked up the only copy.
Thank you, 13-year-old Jack. I appreciate it.
Well, you've sold a couple books to me today via this conversation, so...
Well, I hope you enjoy them if so thank you.
I'm sure I will. I've really enjoyed this chat.
Likewise, it's been very fun. And I wish you well in putting right what Vanity Fair put wrong, frankly. Look, I understand when you're writing these lists, you want people to have something to talk about and you want to surprise people and you want to make people think, oh, I guess Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Ha ha ha. I guess Phantom Thread is a rom-com from a certain point of view. Ha ha ha. Sometimes you just do slightly roll your eyes. It's like when you ask, if you ask a man in the 90s his favorite rom-com and he says Annie Hall, like you're justified in rolling your eyes. Like it's a wonderful film, but you just like it because they don't end up together and you think that makes you cooler than the people who said Pretty Woman. And I just don't think it does make you cooler.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway. It's a fine film. I'm not slagging off Annie Hall. I'm just slagging off people who name Annie Hall as their favourite rom-com. Or who put The Apartment at number 19 on the list.
I adore you. I am a big fan. You have gained an enthusiastic fan today.
Amazing.
I'm honoured.
I think that's where we wrap this episode up for sure.
I think we probably should before I rant about anything else.
Just Nora's declaring her fandom. This has been When Rom Met Com. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at When Rom Met Com. There are links there to the Vanity Fair article, to our Letterboxd, and any other fun things we found and want to share. You can DM us or send us an email at mail@whenrommet.com.
Get it?
We'd love to hear your thoughts on the films, what rom-coms you think should have made the list, your best would-dos, wouldn't-dos, and have-dones, or anything else you'd like to hear about. If you've had a nice time today, please consider leaving a review or following us wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to support the future of the show so that one day we can do an episode on Cyrano de Bergerac, you can leave us a tip on our Ko-Fi. Next time, Nora, what are we talking about next time?
Heated rivalry. Woo!
Yeah, we're taking a little break from the list to go into the world of gay Canadian hockey players.
I would say queer Canadian hockey players because one is bi.
So please join us for that as we venture into a whole new world.
I'm so excited.
Thanks for listening, and remember, we don't hate you. Not even a little bit, not even at all. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.